Hello, I'm Graham. Welcome back to Man vs Film and Happy New Year. We are going to start off January 2020 with some great films that you can watch right now on Netflix UK. So let's get started. Number 10, The Fugitive. A well-respected Chicago surgeon, Dr. Richard Kimball, has found out that his wife has been murdered ferociously in her own home. The police accuse him of the murder. Kimball tried and convicted and is sentenced to death. However, on the way to prison, his transport crashes. Kimball escapes and is now on the run. Deputy Gerard takes charge of this chase of Kimball. Meanwhile, Kimball tries to investigate and find out what really happened to his wife, while luring Gerard and his team into it as well. Andrew Davies' terrific movie The Fugitive was a standout in the 90s and it still holds up really well today. It's got fantastic performances from Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones as quotable lines, some great action set pieces, and it has a fantastic mystery and thriller element to it as well. Really gives some propulsion to the movie, driving it forward and keeping the edge of the seat thrills as well. It's just a great all-rounder. Number 9, The Brothers Grimsby. MI6 top assassin has a brother. Unfortunately for him, he's a football hooligan from the town of Grimsby. Nobby has everything a man from the poor English fishing town of Grimsby could want. But there is one thing missing in his life: his little brother Sebastian. After they were adopted by different families as children, Nobby spent 28 years searching for him. Upon hearing of his location, he sets off to reunite with his brother, unaware that he's going to be drawn into a plot that puts the world in danger. Sacha Baron Cohen and Mark Strong star in Grimsby, a movie that is extremely polarising for most people. You're either going to buy into the silly, slapsticky humour, or it is going to grate on you and completely turn you off. For me, I found it rather enjoyable. It is incredibly silly. It is incredibly close to the knuckle, but that's part of the endearing factor about the movie. It's one of these ones that was derived when it was released into the cinemas, but I think it's worth your time. Number 8, an alternative version of the King Arthur legend. As a boy, Arthur is left orphaned after his father and mother are killed by Vortigern, who then assumes the throne. Arthur flees and is raised into a brothel, knowing very little of his birthright. Vortigern wants Arthur dead to ensure there is no claimant to the throne. The legends foretold that only the next king will be able to draw Excalibur, Uther's sword, from the rock where it is lodged. So in an effort to identify Arthur, Vortigern forces all of the young men of Arthur's age to attempt to draw the sword out. Now it's Arthur's turn. Guy Ritchie's adaptation of King Arthur kind of updates it, bringing it right into the modern age, and he adds his visceral style to this kind of subject matter, and it works for most part. This kind of really landed as a flop in the cinemas. Nobody really went to it. It didn't get great reviews, but I found it to be really worth your time, really entertaining, and a movie that had this grandiose scope but still had a really good tale at the heart of it as well. Some good performances, some great action. There is some clunky moments, but then all blockbusters seem to have these days, but I found this to be rather rewarding. Number 7, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Scott Pilgrim plays in a band which aspires to success. He dates Knives Cho, a high school girl 5 years younger than him, and hasn't recovered from being dumped by his former girlfriend, now a success with her own band. When Scott falls for Ramona Flowers, he has trouble breaking up with Knives and tries to romance Ramona. As if juggling 2 women wasn't enough, Ramona comes with baggage, 7 ex-lovers, with each of whom Scott must do battle to the death in order to win Ramona's heart. Edgar Wright adds his unique flair to Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, a movie that is the closest I've ever seen to a video game adaptation, only it's not really a video game adaptation. O'Malley's fantastic books, he really brings forth the story, the life, the characters. You can see why Scott loves Ramona. You can see the evilness within the 7 evil ex-lovers, and the fight scenes, the action, the plenty of pop culture references and game references are just abound in this joyous romp. Number 6, Jurassic World. 22 years after the original Jurassic Park failed, a new park, also known as Jurassic World, is open for business. After years of studying genetics, the scientists in the park genetically engineer a new breed of dinosaur. the Indominus Rex. When everything goes horribly wrong, will our heroes make it off the island? Jurassic World was a massive success, rightfully so. It was an entertaining update, but not as good as the original Jurassic Park. It brings a lot of those elements back. It homages the original as well through several scenes. It has this nice playful nature. There are some good choices in actors. There are some poor ones as well, but all in all, this has a rip-roaring adventure movie that really just ticks all the boxes, gets you from A to B, and it's amazing how well it did, because it could have gone horribly wrong. Take for instance Jurassic World 2. Number 5, mid-90s. A teenager named Stevie growing up in Los Angeles. He is struggling with his family, including his codependent single mum and his abusive older brother, and at school where his richer friends seem to overlook him. When Stevie befriends a crew of skateboarders, he learns some tough lessons about class, race and privilege. Mid-90s is outstanding. A 12-year-old on the cusp of really forming his own personality falls in with what could be the bad crowd, but someone that really kind of teaches him all things, the aspects of life, the good, the bad and the ugly, and it's up to him to pick from what he wants to make into the personality he's going to be. It is wholly rewarding, it is addictive, it is wondrous entertainment, completely marvellously directed by Jonah Holiday in a debut, and this thing is one of the best movies on Netflix just now. Number 4, 6 Underground. What's the best part of being dead? It's the freedom to fight the evil which lurks in our world. 6 Underground's group of unnamed individuals have chosen to change the future. The team's brought together by an enigmatic leader, codenamed One, whose sole mission is to ensure that he and his fellow teammates will have their actions remembered. Michael Bay's 180 million Netflix movie is ludicrous, completely bonkers, but there is also a certain freedom and joy within watching something that is so out of hand as 6 Underground. The action set pieces are really stand out. The talents of the 6 group that make up this team are completely bonkers. Some of them feel essential, some of them feel completely superfluous to the action that's going to come at hand. The characters in this are rather unimportant. It's basically just action. Every now and again it tries to instigate a kind of political plot into it, and that can just be exercised because it's not needed. We just want the ridiculous action. Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds as he is in every other movie, and this is definitely a switch off the brain to somewhat enjoy this thing. Number 3, La La Land. The story of an aspiring actress Mia and a dedicated jazz musician Sebastian who struggle to make ends meet while pursuing their dreams in a city known for destroying hopes and breaking hearts. With modern day Los Angeles as the backdrop, this musical about everyday life explores what's more important, a once-in-a-lifetime love or the spotlight. Damien Chazelle's La La Land was terrific, full of catchy numbers, really primary colours that pop out at you, 2 fantastic performances from Stone and Gosling who make a great partnership, and it's a movie that just worked incredibly well. If you're not a fan of musicals, this is the type of thing that you want to go into. It's not polished or perfect, but it's incredibly fun. The characters are enigmatic and you get drawn into this whirlwind romance between the 2 leads that's just wonderful to spend time in. Number 2, You Were Never Really Here. Balancing between a feverish dreamlike hallucinations of a tormented past and a grim disorientated reality, the grizzled Joe, a traumatised Gulf War veteran and now an unflinching hired gun who lives with his frail elderly mother, has just finished yet another successful job. With an infernal reputation of being a brutal man of results, they specialised in recovering missing teens, will embark on a bloody drenched rescue mission when Nina, the innocent 13-year-old daughter of an ambitious New York senator, never returns home. Joaquin Phoenix just proving again why he is one of the best talents working in Hollywood today, along with some superb direction by Lynn Ramsey. You Were Never Really Here is a gut punch that really just delivers on this bleak attitude that has a somewhat positive kind of ending depending how you look at things. This is a murky, dark, dank world that we get thrown into, and this is a world where our main character really revels because he gets to unleash his frustrations on these horrifically terrible people doing horrible things. It's not for the faint of heart, but it is a terrific movie. Number 1, John Wick 3. After gunning down a member of the High Table, the shadowy International's Assassins Guild, legendary hitman John Wick finds himself stripped of the organisation's protective services. Now stuck with a 14 million bounty on his head, Wick must fight his way through the streets of New York as he becomes a target of the world's most ruthless killers. John Wick 3, for me, is the best of the trilogy, really upping the ante on everything with more ludicrous action scene after scene. We are thrown straight back into the events of part 2 with John on the run 1 hour to gather himself before his contract is put live, and we get some amazing chase sequences, action set pieces, just high octane nonsense that is just hilarious, violent and incredibly fun. This delivers on almost every front of what I wanted from a John Wick 3 movie. It just is amazing and makes me super hyped for a part 4. So there we have it, 10 fantastic movies for you to check out on Netflix for January 2020. I hope you find something there that you want to check out, something that you're going to love or recommend to other people. If there's anything I missed, let me know in the comment box below, and I'll see you next month for another Top 10.